For decades, Brian Keith was known as the lovable, gruff yet charming actor whose roles in Family Affair, The Parent Trap, and countless westerns endeared him to audiences across America. With his rugged good looks and no-nonsense demeanor, he was a reliable screen presence. But behind the warm television glow and Hollywood smiles, not every co-star shared the public's adoration. One particular actress, who worked closely with him during the height of his fame, developed a deep resentment toward Keith, and for years, the reason was kept quiet, hidden behind a curtain of industry politeness and media silence. But now, with private letters, interviews, and behind-the-scenes accounts emerging, the truth is finally coming to light, and it paints a much darker picture than anyone expected. The woman in question, an actress who asked to remain anonymous, during her lifetime, reportedly worked with Keith on multiple projects in the 1960s and early 70s. According to her, Keith's off-camera persona was far removed from his on-screen image. She described him as controlling, volatile, and dismissive, especially toward women. While many admired Keith for his professionalism, this actress recalled constant tension on set, subtle belittling, and emotionally manipulative behavior that chipped away at her confidence. "People saw a hero," she once wrote in a personal letter, "but behind the scenes, he was anything but. It wasn't just ego or the usual actorly mood swings." According to crew members who witnessed the interactions, Keith had a habit of undermining her input, mocking her acting choices, and even going so far as to have her lines reduced in scripts. While no physical abuse was ever reported, the psychological toll it took on her was lasting. She allegedly confided in a co-star that being on set with Brian Keith made her dread coming to work each day. The emotional manipulation, the power games, and the passive-aggressive comments eventually led her to seek therapy, something she admitted to only years later. What makes the story even more tragic is that this feud, if it can be called that, remained buried for so long because of the unwritten rules of Hollywood at the time, where male stars, especially beloved ones, were often untouchable. She knew speaking up could end her career, and so she chose silence. Keith, for his part, never publicly acknowledged any tension and went on to have a celebrated career, right up until his tragic death by suicide in 1997. It was only after her passing that her private letters and journals were discovered, revealing the depth of her pain and frustration. She never named Keith outright in public, but the timeline and project details left little doubt as to whom she was referring. And while some former co-workers defended Keith as merely old school or stern, others have since admitted they saw the same patterns and regretted not intervening. This revelation doesn't erase Keith's talent or his contribution to television history, but it does add a complicated layer to his legacy, one that challenges the simplicity of hero worship and reminds us that even the most beloved figures can carry shadows. In the end, the hatred she harbored wasn't born out of petty jealousy. It was the product of years of quiet suffering, finally given voice far too late.